Hi,
Hi,
I'm Nick.
I'm Jill,
And
we're HipStrings.
And I'm back in the real world today.
Yes.
Welcome to day A of the Base12 Spinalong for 2023. It is day A because when we are counting in Base12, we don't increment the next digit up until we get to the 12th day. So that will be day 10.
I guess it's the 12th digit doesn't go to
the
1.
12th digits instead of the 10th digit?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's like if you're talking about binary, it's the 2's digit and the 4's digit. Anyway, so yeah, there's a little bit of math lesson for you. Welcome. And if you are going in order, like Jill is, make sure you take out day A. I'm going to do my multiple rolls until I get one of the 3 things that I actually have left.
So I've got this little nugget of fiber. This is Cumulus, which is one of the merino silk blends. It's also getting discontinued, so if you like it, make sure you grab it.
And that is just a signature blend?
Yeah, it's 75% merino, 25% mulberry silk.
Now that is not, hey, you're not waiting for me.
It was inspired by the colors from Skies Over Pittsburgh.
You can keep going. I've been beating you so handedly. You need the handicap, right?
Oh, thanks.
Is inspired by Skies Over Pittsburgh, you said?
Yeah, it's a derivative of Skies Over Pittsburgh.
Okay. Now, this
just
is
not so cloudy.
Since you are discontinuing... Welcome to Pittsburgh. Since you're not discontinuing it...
I am discontinuing it.
Since you are discontinuing it, it's not going to be on a bat next year, but it has the potential of being in a bat in future years.
Right.
Yeah.
Because bats for 2024 have already been decided. We talked about that last night.
We did.
If you want to check them out, go to hipstrings.com and search for Bat of the Month. That's bat with 2 T's. And you can see all the signature blends that I'll be reproducing next year as bats.
And I am spinning, actually yesterday's, day 9. Which is Lake District, which is 80% Rambouillet and 20% Tussa Silk. And I can't talk for some reason. Oh, all right, there we go. And away we go. If you're on the Discord, I shared a photo of my spinning from yesterday. I'm actually remarkably surprised that it turned out as well as it did. Considering I was in wearing my VR headset. So.
Well, you have a lot of practice of spinning without really seeing what you're doing.
But then I don't really worry about maintaining a consistent
signal. But your T-Rex spun stuff is pretty good.
Is it really?
Yeah.
I actually have never looked at it, I think. I've never applied it. I just do it. And
I'll have to like apply it for you or something.
Yeah.
The bobbin it was on broke, so
yeah.
It needs to get wound off. And
Yeah. There's that.
Yeah.
So, we are just 3 days, including today, left.
Yeah.
So what, I was going to ask, what's been your favorite spin so far, but maybe we leave that until the end.
We should leave that till the end.
That's a good one.
I don't know. I've like...
I'm going to make you choose one of your babies.
No, don't make me choose one of my babies. So what are you wearing tonight?
I don't know. It's a combo spin that you knit up. Would you like to talk about that?
Yes, Nick is wearing a combo spin that I spun up. It's if you look on our YouTube, we have a series of videos called The Great Mashup.
God, how old are those?
They're a couple years old, but I go through my process of doing combo spins.
Yeah.
Fiber selection and breaking up the stuff.
Is this one you designed during that?
No, this one was one before that, I think. And so Nick's sweater is mostly like Falkland and Rambouillet. And then the actual pattern is Elizabeth Zimmerman's Seamless Hybrid.
Yeah, I really like this one. This one's super soft, and it fits me really nicely. And this definitely has the ability of let's see. Oh, there we go. Okay. For some reason, it was showing a top chat instead of live chat.
Gosh.
I was wondering why I wasn't seeing any chats. you know how typically they say that wool, breathes and it helps you keep regulated. Some wools I find don't do that. This one does it very well. So I do like wearing this one. I had actually lost it for a little while since you rearranged where all the sweaters were. So we've got a hi from Ashley, we've got a hi from Amy, and happy solstice. Yes, happy solstice. That was one of the things I wanted to say to everybody. So thank you for the reminder. Donna and Paula say hello. Kathleen says hi and glad that they could finally make one live. We're glad you could join us as well. Red Waves thought I'd drop by. Hi, Red. And Amy asked, could you make a T-Rex scarf from the T-Rex spinning? If we...
You started a T-Rex knitting.
I did start a T-Rex knitting. And knitting in a T-Rex outfit is significantly harder than spinning. It's the short, stumpy arms.
Yeah. And then I'm not wearing any hand spun, but I am wearing a merino wool dress from Wooland, and then a thrifted wool sweater, and then my hat is I think it's Ivory Tower, which was my superfine merino baby camel fingering weight yarn.
It's got a beautiful halo to it.
Held with a kid merino or kid mohair silk.
Oh, okay.
Which gives it the halo.
From.
And yeah. Ivory Tower might be making a comeback next year.
Oh, why is that?
I've got the cones in the studio.
So why did it leave, and why is it coming back?
It left because it was a pain in the butt to dye. And
now you just want to torture yourself again?
It's such a nice yarn. I think I could fix most of it by skeining the skeins myself.
Oh, okay.
Because mostly it was a too tight of ties problem.
Okay.
And so I'm going to solve the problem and I'm a better dyer and I know better what it needs now in order to be successful. Good. But there are a lot of Ivory Tower fans from when I had it. And I also think back in the day, it was what I thought was a very expensive skein.
Yeah.
I sold it at like $28 a skein.
Yeah.
Which is no longer an expensive skein of hand dyes.
Are you going to be able to still sell it at $28 a skein?
It'll be a little bit more, but not too much more.
Okay. Stephanie says hi, by the way, and Amber's asking, Jill, what drafting method are you using right now? Fascinating. Almost looks like you're drafting with the middle finger and ring finger and thumb. Sorcery.
Okay, so what's going on is my version of short forward. But I use 4 out of 5 fingers I'm using my left hand. So my thumb...
Actually, I'm going to...
And my pointer finger.
Pause myself here, and I'm going to go and see
Try
if
to
I
zoom.
Can zoom in on this.
So, okay, so I'm pinching with thumb and pointer finger. They're controlling...
That's as far as I can zoom.
When twist goes. Middle finger is just resting to put some tension on, but then my ring finger actually is doing almost all of the work of drafting. There's a little bit of pulling, but that ring finger is doing a lot more control of drafting. So I don't really have a drafting triangle. There is the tiniest bit of twist that's going into my fiber supply. It's not getting here. It's only getting to like here, but there is a little twist getting past my fingers. Whereas in a very rigid short forward draw, there would be no twist past those first fingers.
Hopefully that was helpful with that little bit of zoom I got.
Yeah. But there's no smoothing down in the single with this method. But it allows me to have a lot of control. And I can also like draft across the width of the top this way.
Yeah, and we were talking about in a previous show that there's a lot of ways to get that control, and the key aspect you need is to make sure that you're pulling the fibers and not allowing too much twist to get
depending
into your
on
fiber
your
supply.
drafting method. Like if you're doing something that's more woolen, you do want to let that twist get into your fiber supply.
Amber says that yes, the Zoom helped, and thank you for the description. And Donna says that's the same way I forward short draw. Thank you, Jill, for validating that I'm doing right. Well, let's not get carried away. Nobody said Jill's actually doing it right. I'm kidding. No,
I spin a mighty nice yarn.
you do, and that's the important factor, right? You could, if you end up having to use tools in order to spin it right, you're spinning it right. So, thank you for sharing that. I spin a weird way, so.
Yeah, Nick also. And I taught him how to spin.
Yeah, but you never actually taught me the specific hand technique.
I don't mess with people's hands.
Yeah.
I might be like, you might want to do something here, but if you're struggling, but I figure what people naturally want to do with their hands is based on their strengths.
Yeah. Yeah.
And some people have more dexterity and hand strength than others, and so what works for one person doesn't necessarily work for others. I can't do a traditional short forward draw.
Yeah.
My hands will kill me. This is so much gentler. And then like long draw, I always have to have my hands up, my palms facing up.
Yeah.
I can't spin with my palms down. It's really rough on my wrists.
You know what? We talk about all the sorts of videos that we want to do that we never end up doing, but one of the ones that we might want to do is actually a couple of detailed demonstration videos on the different ways to spin.
Yeah.
And how you might want to try things out, right?
Mm-hmm. Because what I love about spinning Saxony is that, like, I can kind of do it with my rows. If I put the head all the way over here, and then I basically, like, spin in my lap, and my hands are in a very comfortable position. It's a little bit awkward trying to do short forward draw. A worsted style that way.
Yeah. Donna says, it did take several practice days trying to find what worked for my hands and fingers, being consistent. Yeah, and, you know, the other thing is you get tired over time, right? And so our suggestion, the thing that we've learned works so very well is the 10 minutes a day, right? Try something for 10 minutes a day.
15 minutes a day.
And if you are doing something brand new and you're excited about it, it's sometimes hard to just
limit yourself
and limit it.
But you don't want your muscles and your tendons to get exhausted.
Yeah, and then get bad habits.
And then
right?
get bad habits. But your muscles do things, your brain is like, okay, we'll get back to this. And then when you come back the next day and you're like, this is important, by doing it again, then it kind of starts sticking with your brain.
I am always so surprised at how many times where I'm like, I can't do this. I'm frustrated. I'm, trying something out. It doesn't work out. And you tell me, Nick, take a break, come back to it tomorrow. And I'm like, oh no, I've got to push hard. I've got to make sure I get it right. And you're like, no, take a break. And of course, eventually I listen to you and I come back tomorrow and it's so much easier. And
you don't learn when you're stressed.
Yeah, well, not only that, but I have a firm belief that your brain does additional processing,
Yep,
right?
It does.
Especially while you sleep. And it helps you to rewire things, create new connections. There are actual, your brain, here's going to be a weird thing for you. Your brain is not the only part of your nervous system that creates these connections when you're learning stuff. Muscle memory is actually a thing because your brain is your central component of your nervous system, but all the nerves and all the communication that goes along through your spinal cord and all the nerves
and how
going
much
everywhere
control
else,
you have over your muscles. And
there's new connections that are developed with brain cells all around your body, and those need to develop.
Not brain cells, nerve cells.
They're kind of like brain cells. I mean, they're not the exact same,
right.
But they're very similar.
It is part of your nervous system.
Yeah. Anyways, so all of that stuff needs to rewire when you're learning new techniques.
And I will say, one of the things I've loved about learning new things with hand spinning is I try to challenge myself and learn new things and try to work at things that I'm not very good, that I think I'm not very good at. I'll qualify that. And then I'll try to learn something new, something that I struggle with. And then it's amazing how that filters into everything else I do. And so actually my theme for my crafting next year
I was going to say, this is perfect
is
time
going
to
to
talk about it.
be, let's do things I don't think I'm very good at. Because it's always been a tremendous growth when I'm just like, okay, I'm going to do this thing. I don't think I can do this thing, but I'm going to do this thing.
So you're going to start with welding, right?
No. I try to divide things up into quarters. 3 months is a good time to focus on something and actually have a sense of accomplishment. So I think at least I've never really worked with bast fibers.
And what are bast fibers?
Bast fibers are actual cellulose fibers, not cotton. They are from, bast fibers are found in the stems of plants. So like flax, nettle, hemp are bast fibers.
Yeah.
And I've only worked with them in blends. I've never spun them really by themselves.
And they're pretty intimidating. I mean,
They're very different because the strength of the fibers, lack of crimp, they want to spin a different way. Like the natural turn of the fiber is opposite of what other fibers are. So they like better being spun counterclockwise rather than clockwise. It's very different. I also want to dive more into silk. I've only spun silk a little bit on its own. And
well,
so
you used to do hankies all the time.
Yeah, I've done hankies, but I've not done I really struggle with mulberry silk. It's probably my least favorite fiber to spin on its own. But I really enjoyed spinning tusset silk. And so I just want to spend more time on it. I've only done very limited amounts.
So there's 2 of your quarters.
That's 2 of my quarters. I think I still want to work on long wools. I'm not where I want to be with long wools. Long wools have always been a struggle with me. I feel like they are so very intolerant to varying amounts of twist. Like, you have to get the amount of twist just right or it's not happy yarn.
Well, because you're fighting with the crimp and everything.
There's lack of crimp. And the fibers are so long, so twist travels really quick.
Yeah. And that's
and so
really good
I
for
just
doing,
really want to work on control with long wools.
And that's really good for doing long draw, right?
No,
No?
you can't do long draw.
Okay.
It's all worsted, which is also what I'm not very good at. I tend to fall into either long draw or point of contact spinning. And
So I can't do long draw, and I think maybe that might be my challenge for next year is to try and figure out how to do long draw, because like the idea of spinning with one hand fascinates me.
you gotta get the fiber prep right for that.
Well, yeah, so that's why I'm fascinated by it. By the way, Red says this all sounds like a great and yet not always entertaining goal, and I'm gonna say, well, if we document it correctly, it'll be entertaining for you.
Well, okay, so the inspiration for this is a lot of the ply articles I've written. Sometimes I've been asked to do things that I'm not very good at. Oh, I think another one, probably the 3rd quarter, is going to be suspended spindle spinning. Because I've never actually finished like 4 ounces of something on a suspended spindle.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Maybe you can tell me what we need to do to make it better suspended spindle.
Yeah, I've got a bunch of options. I am dedicated to working this out, but suspended spindling is not something that I feel great about.
I should note, by the way, Red is saying that she's a person who is not good at not being good at things.
Yeah. So ply articles, my 2 that came out this year, one was on twist, and so I had to spin. I was given the directions for this article. It was to spin something. This was in the drape issue. I was to spin something that would be drapey, which I spun a long wool. I spun some Lincoln. And then something that would not be drapey, so I spun a fine Corriedale, which had a lot of crimp. And I hand combed all the fiber, and then the idea was to try to spin them both as similarly as possible, but with low, medium, and high amounts of twist, and then ply each of those with low, medium, and high amounts of twist. So 9 total samples for two different fibers. So 18.
Low, medium, low, high.
Yeah.
Medium, low, medium, medium,
Yes,
medium, high.
and then Nick very kindly knit a whole bunch of tiny swatches.
Not that tiny.
And to see how they all behaved. And I learned a ton about twist and how it behaves in a long wool versus a crimpy wool. It was not anything I ever would have done on my own if not forced to do it. And then in the growth issue, which is coming out soon, it's the next issue to come out, I spun 6 different fibers that cover the range of most fibers we think of. So there's a fine wool, a medium wool, a long wool, a superwash wool.
Alpaca.
There's alpaca, there's silk, and there's cotton.
Oh, and can I be clickbaity about this and be like, the answers will surprise you?
The answers will surprise you. So I tried to spin them all to the same wraps per inch. And then knit 2 swatches, and then treat the swatches in different ways. So
abuse the swatches.
Abuse the swatches. So they got measured when they were just freshly knit. They got measured after being washed and laid flat to dry. They got hung with weights, with a lot of weight. I think it was 300 grams, 350 grams on a 6-inch swatch from a knitting machine bed. Both while wet and also while dry, and then washed again and laid flat to dry to see if they recover. I have spreadsheets with so many numbers.
There's only so much you could actually cover in the article, but at least it gives away the results and helps you to understand what really impacts the stretchiness
and
or the
where
recovery.
the growth is actually coming from.
Yeah. I mean, can you talk about the results on that, or do we just
No,
have to tell people
you're going to have to wait until the
article comes out?
The article comes out. So, if you don't already subscribe to Ply, do so.
Or pick up the
pick up
issue.
the next growth, which will be out. I forget exactly when it comes out. Should be soon.
You had such a good advertisement, and then you just
I think it's March.
failed at the
I'm
end.
not sure. I don't know these things. I turned the article in September.
Yeah.
So. But I can tell, and I had to spin them all the same way. So I spun them all from comb top and all short forward, which is not fun for cotton.
Ugh.
And because I was going to knit up so many swatches, I had to spin I was trying to go for a DK or worsted weight 2-ply, because 2-ply is more likely to drape and have growth. So spinning Egyptian comb top, cotton top, short forward draw, trying to hit a worsted 2-ply.
Nice. And you did a good job. It was a very, very nice yarn.
My wrists hated me.
Red, by the way, notes that Tussa is so much more fun to spin than mulberry.
Yes,
and,
I will agree with that. I enjoyed Tussa.
She will trade you some worsted juju for some long draw juju. So Stephanie asks, so when are you doing the D&D good/neutral/evil chaotic/neutral/ lawful good chart of fibers?
Oh, I don't pass judgment on fibers like that.
It's not passing judgment. I mean,
well, I can tell you, this one's more forgiving than this one.
Yeah. I think you could go.
It's why I will heavily argue that long wools are not really great for beginners. They're great if you have a wheel that doesn't go very fast because they don't require as much twist.
Could you go?
But they're so easy to overspin.
Could you go chaotic, neutral, and lawful with your fibers? And judge them?
Maybe.
Amy, by the way, says, since my ply sweater issue is on the couch next to me, I can confirm that the grow issue is next. It's the spring 2024.
Yeah, which I think is March.
Yeah.
We'll be here before you know it.
Don't say that. I'm not even ready for the end of the year.
How can you not be ready for the end of 2023?
I just started my vacation, and when 2023 ends, I have to go back to work.
See, when 2024 when 2023 ends, I have to count all the things.
Yeah, so you're not quite ready for it to end yet either.
Yeah. Go buy more stuff, so I have to count less stuff.
Yeah. I mean, we're not as bad as Valve, where we can't count past 3, but can't even count 2, 3. That's a video game joke. Speaking of nerdy jokes, I definitely wanted to share when we came down to prep the podcast area. Gab was playing Minecraft with their friends, and for some reason had looked up a list of 101 pickup lines and was choosing the most ridiculous ones. And I absolutely loved one that they read out, which was, "If you were a Transformer, you'd be Optimus Fine." I thought that was... I missed my opportunity to use that to pick you up.
Yeah.
Probably would have ended badly.
There's another one about parking tickets.
Yeah, it's...
You're like
are you a parking ticket because you have fine written all over you?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know why I'm wasting brain space on that. Kathleen says, same about 2023 ending means going back to work. Today was the last day of 2023 operations at the facility we were using. Great. Yesterday was my last day of work, but then I had to do groceries and run around and do stuff. And I actually met up with an old coworker, and that was a great lunch. And our local Indian place now knows me by name and was joking about reserving a seat for me weekly.
I mean, they're really, really good.
They are very good.
If you ever find yourself in the North Hills of Pittsburgh near Allison Park, let me take a sip.
Do you want me to say the name of the place while you're drinking? Yeah. So the place is called Swagat. Swagaat, I think.
Yeah, SwagA, something like that.
I know there's too many A's for me to remember correctly, but
Yeah.
I'm terrible at spelling, so that's I can't even spell water correctly. This is true. There was a time in high school that I spelled water with an H, and I've never forgotten it. But yes, Swagat, it's fantastic. Definitely highly recommended. Although their spice levels are deceptively hot.
I think they're tuning them in.
They are tuning them in, because the last time I ordered it,
Was not
it wasn't as hot as it was, but they used to be like, order 1 to 4. And today they offered my
when
friend
they first
a 1 to
opened,
10.
it was 1 to 10.
Oh, no, okay, so they're still doing 1 to 10.
But I think I got you a 3 the first time.
And that was like face-meltingly hot.
Yeah. I usually get a 1.
Yeah.
I think I can do 2 now.
Okay, Red says, do you have a bunch of dyed merino in stock? I'm planning a zillion bats for the guild next year.
I always have a ton of dyed merino in stock. The inventory numbers online might not be accurate.
And Amy says that she'd love to figure out what food she does and what Thai food she does and does not like. There's a bunch of good Thai restaurants in the area as well, but your particular food you like. Larb.
It's like ground chicken or pork sometimes. I like the ground chicken version. With like this very light fish sauce, vinegar, chili
It's like
sauce.
It's like on a bed of greens too.
Yeah, and on a bed of greens. So it's not heavy. It's not.
I really
It's
like.
very light.
What's the name of the soup that I like? The tom yum soup.
Yeah.
With a little bit of spice, but it's also like vinegary-ish. It's nice. Let's see. Amy's asking, what's the thing on the bottom center shelf between your heads?
Bottom center shelf? This? Or
Um,
this?
It's going to be a while before she responds. So why don't we pick this up, and I'll take a pause too.
Yeah.
So this is actually really interesting.
It's a type of Sharka.
It's a spinning machine. So, oh my gosh, this is a wonderfully tight band here. And
Yeah. Do you need some help before
I
you
need-
like poke me?
Yeah, actually, you worry about that part not poking you. And
I-
okay, so there's that.
Yes, but it's missing.
Oh, it's missing the other bands. Why did I even do that?
Yeah.
Okay, so there you
So it's a type of Sharka. So you see, here's the spindle, the husk. It would be like this. That band goes down here, and then there would be the drive band from here to the spindle.
yeah.
So Sharkas are typically a type of accelerated wheel, and they are a spindle wheel. This is a style also known as a banjo Sharka. A friend got it in Japan, and it is my favorite type of Sharka.
But it turns out she wasn't asking about that. She was actually asking about.
See, here I thought she was
unicorn.
here for spinning content.
So, this Jill has on her loom because we got it for her like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Especially when she was doing the unicorns. We were talking about unicorns yesterday. I figured I'd throw it up there because it's adorable and it has a little blep tongue sticking out. But this is made by Squishables, which we absolutely love. All their orb-like creatures.
And the really giant ones make excellent throw pillows.
Yeah, they're adorable. And they actually work really, really well as pillows. So if you don't want just regular old square pillows that are boring, you would want maybe a giant turtle or maybe a sriracha bottle. What are some other ones that they have?
An avocado.
Yeah, a big avocado. They also have avocado toast if you really want to drive home that millennial vibe. The Squishables are fun. So, yeah, Amy was like, yeah, the white orb, but the Sharka looks cool too. Yeah, we should have guessed that it was, as she's saying, the stuff on the shelf that changes every day.
See, there's other interesting things on our shelves.
Yeah, you gotta look around. It's like a Where's Waldo thing, which now we need to get a little mini Waldo to put up there.
I'm sure you can make a Lego one. You have brickhead materials.
Oh my god, a brickhead Waldo would be amazing. I was just gonna print something out and tape it to the back wall. Ashley needs the toast. See, we keep on telling Ashley things she needs to buy. This is great. They actually have a Squishables shop in the mall near where we live, which is great. We have a giant plague doctor that they have as well, which is adorable. We got that shortly before the pandemic.
No.
We got it during the pandemic. We got it during the pandemic.
They released it during pandemic.
Whenever anybody gets COVID, they get to sleep with the plague doctor. And all of our family, thankfully, has survived COVID. So
Yeah.
Okay, so what other things? I have other things. Oh, we can talk about the fact that we watched Home Alone today. And I was thinking back on it, and I was like, I'm not sure I want to show Home Alone to our kids. I've got to go and watch it again before we let them watch it. I mean, we've got a whole range of kids. Of course, that theory got ruined because Adrian told me today that that's the movie that they watched at school today. So, okay, whatever. They're showing our kids Home Alone for us. I did not remember a whole lot of it. I watched it only when I was a kid. I haven't seen it in a very long time. I did not remember a whole lot of it. And really, the movie is a very, very long build-up just to the last scene, right? Which the last scene is entertaining, but as a parent, I'm just like, oh god, this is such a weird movie. I don't feel the need to watch it again as a tradition. I think that's where I'm going to settle with it. Sorry to insult anybody if you love Home Alone, but Okay. Ashley says, I know when we did our trip, I came home with 4 of them. Wahaha. Yeah, so Ashley has been to the mall near where we live. Red says, oh, I have to buy a $50 bottle of bourbon for someone. Suggestions on something I can get like Caskers. Or get on like Caskers. And Ashley's saying Buffalo Trace is great if you can find it.
We've been drinking, 1892? Jefferson's Reserve is, I think, around that price and a pretty solid. I'm trying to remember some other things. I don't like bourbon that has caramel coloring added.
Yeah, they tend to be too sweet for us.
Yeah, they tend to be sweet.
Yeah. I don't know.
Basil Hayden
Yep.
is pretty
That's
solid.
Stephanie's saying if you can get Whistle Pig, it's always a good buy. And I can vouch for how cool people they are. Speaking of cool people with alcohol,
Are you going to talk about your beer?
I do want to talk about my beer. This is not a product placement, although I wish it was. I mean, it is a little bit, actually.
A little bit.
So I'm drinking El Mago from Necromancer. Necromancer is a local brewery that actually I don't know if it's the significant other of...
It is the significant other of the dyer behind Ex Libris.
Yes, he works there.
He works there.
And so when we had Indie Knit and Spin, he came by after the show ended and handed me a 4-pack of this beer to thank me, and I was just floored. And it is such a special beer to me, and I really appreciated it. And so it's a very good beer. If you're ever in
they
Pittsburgh,
specialize kind of in rare styles of beer. That's the whole Necromancer part, is that they're reviving old styles of beer.
Okay. We have not been to their brewery yet, but they supposedly are great. They actually also apparently hosted one of the local roller derby groups because they have a
they
space
do roller
that's used for
skating
roller
there.
skating. So,
and also queer and woman owned.
I absolutely need to stop by there and thank them again. But if you're watching, thank you so much. I still get a little teary eyed when I think about it.
I actually think they're having like a special before Christmas thing tonight, and Ex Libris is selling yarn at the brewery.
Oh, cool.
So
Very nice. Huh. Too bad we're here.
yeah, we could be there buying yarn and drinking beer
Maybe next time we need to do...
instead of spinning yarn and drinking beer.
Maybe next time we need to do one of these like at a bar. We do the actual podcast from the bar. That would be entertaining. I love. I did this thing once for a previous job, where it was called Two Scientists Walk Into a Bar, and the Carnegie Science Center sponsored a bunch of scientists coming from local companies to go into a bar to answer people's questions, which you have to be ready to answer the questions of people who are climate change deniers and stuff gracefully. But they gave you free beer, and actually it was very fun to be able to do that because I don't know if this was a universal experience for everybody who did it, but I had a couple of climate deniers, and I did ask them, okay, well, let's talk through all the questions you have, and I was able to get them to think slightly differently about it. And I don't know if I completely changed their minds, but at least I think they walked out a little bit more open. If not,
Or at least better informed.
yeah. So maybe we could do the same thing with spinning. Let's see. Ashley says, wait, did Jill win?
Yeah,
Yes,
Jill won.
Jill won. Jill won.
I just don't
very
make a big deal
handedly.
about it.
Neither do I. You make.
I make a big deal about you winning.
Yes.
You don't make a big deal about you winning.
Maybe I should-
make a big deal about you winning.
Maybe I should make a big deal about you winning. Oh my God, you won! You're awesome. Congrats. Donna asks, if you ever visit my hometown, Hot Springs National Park, there's a Superior Bathhouse Brewery that uses natural hot springs to brew various offerings.
Oh, that sounds really cool.
The only brewery in a national park. Nice.
Because I know about like how important water is in brewing.
Yeah.
And so the fact that like hot springs stuff is going to have different mineral contact, it's going to affect the flavor of the beer.
Well, now I'm
and
curious.
How different yeasts
I'm
behave.
curious if they actually use the hot spring water or if they use the heat from the hot springs in the brewing. Or both, maybe. I don't know.
I can read. There are multiple squishables.
Amy's saying that, Amy wants to bring home some squishables, but is afraid of a divorce. So the trick is to convince your significant other that it's their idea.
And it's a throw pillow.
And it's a throw pillow, yeah. I mean, you convinced me of that, and it just enabled me.
Which strangely means that we have a lot of the big ones and not as many of the small ones, but I actually am less bothered by the big ones than a ton of the small ones.
I need to actually
because they are actually really good pillows.
Donna noted that they use the water and not just the heat. And Hollis says, we are both winners to her. Aw, that's sweet.
Oh, yes, I like the friend gifted. I can't be rude.
Oh, yeah, Ashley's saying that, it's, you could always say that a friend just gifted them to you. Yeah, Amy, let us know which ones you're really enjoying. I don't know.
One of Nick's co-workers' wives was talking to me last night, and we were talking about Lego and whiskey, because her husband joins us sometimes for Lego and whiskey. And she was asking me, so what do you do with the Lego kits after you're done? Like, do you display them in your home? I'm like, oh yes, I have an entire china cabinet full of Lego. I am not the person to ask about this.
I was actually, when I went to the antique store the other day, I sent you that picture of a large china cabinet that had a lot of glass on it.
Yes, I was like, that would be awesome for models.
Yeah, right? That's exactly my thinking.
I do not have typical suburban housewife decor in my house. It is books and Legos and models and toys and fiber equipment.
Well, no, now the fiber equipment can be typical suburban decor, although usually it is non-functional.
Yes, and that's a couple decades back.
Yeah.
There used to be a loom that lived under the stairs in the entryway.
It was functional.
It was functional.
You used it.
You got a lot of people that are like, what is
What is that?
It's the loom that lives under the stairs. There used to be a baby grand piano that lived
better
under the
than
stairs.
the non-functional baby grand
But it
piano
was
that came with the
non-functional.
house.
Yeah. Loom was much better than a non-functional piano.
Yeah. So I also did want to make sure that we told our captive audience, if you have access to Disney Plus, please watch Percy Jackson. Actually, you don't even need to watch
Percy Jackson and the Olympians. Just turn it on.
Percy Jackson and the Olympians, the TV series.
Watching.
You don't even need to watch it. Just turn it on, have it go on in the background so that we bump up the numbers by at least the 15 people that are watching us.
It'll make a world of difference.
I think it will. We want to make sure that they continue doing it because it's good. It's very good. I personally think the pacing was a little bit. I don't want to say weird.
Yes, but the beginning of the story, in the first place, in the books, is weird.
I think my problem with it is that it does the typical thing that all the Disney Plus shows have done, which is we're gonna present the world as completely normal.
Yes.
For the entire first episode, and then we're gonna have a weird twist at the end, and I'm like, that's how you lose watchers in the first half of the episode, right? But if I promise you, if you watch it all the way through the end of the first episode, you should be hooked. Let's see.
Books and Tools rule.
Books and Tools rule.
Way
for
better
decor.
than having a troll under the stairs.
Yeah. Red, you got to say who's saying it.
Sorry, Red says way better than having a troll under the stairs. Stephanie says my CDC mom uses a good condition treadle sewing machine for decor. Been working for 6 months to try to get her to sell it to me. Amy asked how long the episode's. About 40 minutes, I think.
Yeah, I don't know.
There's 2 out for the premiere this week, and they'll be released weekly.
Yeah.
Amber says, I'm practicing with Jill's drafting method. I love learning new things about spinning. Thank you so much. I've felt
In a rut.
which is doing plain old short forward, doing it one way only.
Excellent.
Yeah, I showed a friend my here, add this finger. And she was like, oh my God, this is so much better.
One finger makes a world of difference.
Mm-hmm.
It really does.
It does.
I'm actually really proud of myself because I have not been stretching my thumb quite as frequently as I've had to in the past.
Are you being nicer to your thumb, or do you think it's adapting?
Yes, I think a little bit of both. Honestly, I not just to be funny. I think I'm not squeezing as
Nick,
hard.
will you actually continue spinning after Base 12, or are you just going to take another break until it's time to spin in a T-Rex costume?
No, I will maybe, because I realize that it's time to spin in a T-Rex costume is much sooner than usual. Since
It's May.
Yeah, but I've got my shawl to weave.
If I get your loom dressed,
Yeah,
my loom dressed for you.
I thought that was supposed to be a Christmas present.
It's not happening before Christmas.
Well, it doesn't have to be before Christmas to be a Christmas present.
I'm hoping by the end of the year
Yeah.
I will have it dressed.
Yeah.
If you help me get the sectional beam on the loom.
Yep, absolutely. Oh, and Amy's saying that she can watch at tennis, so that works out very well. Yeah. All right, I'm almost done. Maybe, sort of.
Keep telling yourself that. That is such a nice color.
It is. It's gorgeous.
Such a nice minty
And this was
aqua.
this is a hand dye, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just so you know, all the hand dye is repeatable. I don't have more of the Rambouillet silk, and I don't know when I'll be able to get a hold of it again.
So it's not really repeatable, just in the concept.
The color
Repeatable.
is repeatable. I do have a lovely fine Polworth silk that's very similar. Or Targhee bamboo silk would be very similar. But if you want more of any of these semi-solids, just email me. I am happy to do favors for regular customers.
And you also need some guidance, right? Like you're going based on how quickly things sell and what you think people want, but it's so much better to get actual data from people to say, yeah, we really want more of this.
Yeah, and if I can't do it because I'm too busy, I will tell you I am too busy and I can't do this right now.
It started to get away from me.
So things like custom spindles are kind of a, yeah, you can tell me that you want something, and if I'm ever at a point where I can make that happen for you, I will make that happen to you, but I cannot promise when I can make that happen for you.
Yeah. Well, I got really good at doing spindles last May when I was unemployed.
Are you going to make all my student spindles for Maryland?
I'm going to say the same thing you just said to them. I can't promise you, but I will try to...
I mean, I would really like to have a run of fleece bags made again.
Yeah, that I can do. I'm more confident in that again after doing this run, especially now that we got better ink, fresher ink.
Fresh ink works wonders.
Fresh ink makes such a difference.
Materials, having good materials, right? Makes
Yeah.
the process so much easier.
I mean, that's like going back around to our first episode for this run. Now, I also learned how to repair the screen pretty readily. So I think I'm much
And I've
more
got to check
confident
my
in-
Kickstarter account. We might have fancy new screen printer equipment coming soon.
Those aren't big enough for the bags.
They are
they?
not
Yeah.
big enough for the fleece bags.
Well, the big question though is, do we make another run of may result in loss of limb or may result in loss of lamb? Because we've never made
the
may
loss
result
of limb
loss
just
of
makes
limb,
me sad. Much more sad than loss of limb.
which is, I know where your priorities lie.
Yes.
And okay, that goes away. Stephanie says, "Don't forget our shot glasses, damn it!" And also
yes.
the zip threaders. By the way, I did bring. Where did I throw the zip threader? I threw it down here. We need to make more zip threaders. I did. Bring
I
down,
need to put a note down for bringing supplies for zip threaders home so I can make them. Maybe if I find that, I will find my stitch marker supplies.
Yeah. And all the
gummy bear stitch markers I made.
I did bring one of the shot glasses.
So if you weren't aware of our prior HipString shot glasses.
Let's see if this is gonna not
put your hand behind it, maybe?
No, I need to not have my hand, and I need to also not hold it upside down. So it has the HipStrings logo on it, and you'll notice that the full glass is actually more than 1.5 ounces.
It's a 2 ounce.
So that we have a mark right here in the middle of the S, which says the 1.5 ounce, and it's all spotty and not beautiful, but at least you get to see what the design is.
So I'll have to see if I can find those glasses again. If not, we'll come up with a new design with whatever glass we can find.
We can add some of the spindle designs on it, and all that fun stuff.
I have wine glasses that the bottom of the wine glass has different spindle designs on it.
Yeah, those aren't for sale. They're too much of a pain to make. Maybe one day.
Maybe one day.
Yeah.
If you ask nicely.
Maybe if we do a collab with, as the kids say, a collab.
A collab?
A collab with a winery or something. Oh my God, HipStrings teacups. Yeah, I did buy a bunch of those mugs from IKEA to try and etch stuff on, and I never did. Maybe I can try that. But that'll come for another day. We are now done with our spinning for today. Oh, you know what? One thing we haven't done actually, like
on air.
We've done it sometimes.
We've been doing it afterwards.
Yeah, not recently.
Do you have a blue?
I
will take your aqua once you're done.
Yeah. I realize I'm going to have to end up with two buildings next to each other that are the same color.
No. Oh yeah, kind of.
Yeah. I didn't plan ahead well, but that's okay because that's the beauty of what we're making. And I am restricting myself to 3 colors. And Jill is going all colors. So here's what my thank you.
The caps don't hold on very well.
Here's what my bag looks like right now. And I'll let you color yours. Actually, I'll look up my my dad joke while you're. I have it looked up. I just need to remind myself what it is.
You have like a dad pickup line?
No. I mean, I already gave you that one, the Optimus Fine one. But
So, here's the state of mind.
So did you know that somebody's been stealing the wheels off police cars?
Oh, really?
Yeah, the police are working tirelessly to catch them. It's a lot better than when somebody stole a toilet from the police station. They had nothing to go on.
Good night.
Have a good night, everybody. See you tomorrow.